The last topic is to try to emphasize the distinction between the price level and the inflation rate. And to do that, we're going to distinguish between a one-time increase in the supply of money and an increase in the growth rate of the money supply. So to start with, we can imagine an economy where the money supply has been constant at MS0, and then in period T, the money supply increases to this new level, MS1, and then it just stays at that new level forever. So this would be a one-time increase in the level of the money supply. Well, that is going to translate into the price level being constant up until time T, then the price level jumping at the same time that the money supply jumps, and then it stays at that new higher level forever. This is an example of a path of money where it's growing at a constant rate over time. So this is the level of the money supply, this is time. It grows at a constant rate until time T. Then there's a jump in the level, and then it continues to grow at that old growth rate. So here there's no real change in the growth rate of the money supply. There's just a jump in the level, and the growth rate doesn't really change. This experiment, though, is quite different. Here we have that up until time T, the supply of money is just constant. It's just sitting here at, say, MS bar. And so therefore the growth rate is 0. And then it becomes positive, the growth rate. So this would be an example of a permanent increase in the growth rate of the money supply. Now, the interesting thing about this is that this has multiple effects. So let's suppose, to be concrete, that the government announces at time T, right here, that it's after money growth has been 0 for a long time, that it's now going to grow at 10% forever. Well, we know that 10% money growth is eventually going to generate 10% inflation. And that increase in inflation then is going to raise the nominal interest rate from R1 to R2. So that's just using the Fisher equation. But a higher interest rate, nominal rate, is going to reduce the demand for money today. And so the demand for money is going to shift from this function that depends on the original nominal rate to this new function that depends on the new nominal rate. At the same time, the level of the money supply is going to be growing. So we're going to have supply and demand effects going on in this thought experiment. So here is the money market. We have the price level on the vertical axis, money supply on the horizontal axis. The announcement at time T that money is going to grow at 10% forever makes the nominal interest rate jump. So R2 is bigger than R1. That generates a backward shift in the demand for money. Money holders want to hold less money for any given price level. If nothing else were happening, that alone would drive up the price level today, because people realize that the return on money is going to be declining, so they want to hold less money. So even if there were no change in the supply of money today, we would get an increase in the price level. But at the same time now, money which had been constant at this level here is going to grow at 10% every year. So that means the supply of money is going to be continually shifting out like this. You don't get any further shifts in the demand for money. So what happens is, after that initial pivot up, you move to point B, and then as the price level rises, money demanders slide up this new money demand function. So we're going to get a situation where the price level is continually rising. And here's what it would look like. Again, until time T, nothing happens. The price level is just flat. Then you get this jump up in the price level. This is due to the shift in money demand. And then you get this continual rise at 10% a year in the price level. And this is due to the outward shift in money supply. Now, all of these exercises exhibit what's called the neutrality of money. An increase in the level of the money supply raises the price level proportionately, leaving everything else in the economy unchanged. An increase in the growth rate of the money supply raises the inflation rate and, through the Fisher equation, the nominal interest rate 1-for-1. And that then leaves the real interest rate unchanged and everything else in the economy unchanged. I want to emphasize that neutrality is a very strong result, and it's something that might be true in the very long run, but it relies on this money just being dropped by helicopters. And it requires very rapid, in fact immediate, adjustments in prices. But in the real world, wages and prices don't adjust immediately, and therefore in the short run, you're going to find that this neutrality result breaks down.